Stand up, sports fans. Take three with Simeon
Hey,
Russell,
yeah.
and but always excited to do this sports show with you, Sim, man. Yeah, hopefully it works out. Obviously, you're in a hotel. That's how dedicated you are, and excited to talk some sports with you today, man.
Yeah, man, me too. I'm sorry that we're having so many technical issues, but yeah, I think we got it going now. And sometimes I guess it's listen, I tested it out before I tested it out last night. I was like, let me test this internet out to make sure everything is gonna be good. You get people who log into the internet, there's more people using the internet, so I guess it's maybe a little bit slower during the day. But there's a lot of sports to talk about. A lot of sports to talk about right
A
now.
lot of sports. A lot of sports. Obviously, you got the NBA kicking off. It kicked off last night, but for all intents and purposes, for us, you got the Knicks tonight. Which unfortunately I'm working a night shift, so I can't stream the game. But
Mm,
obviously, that we're all excited about that. RJ Barrett's debut. You got the World Series last night, 5-4. Astros come out on top, and the Nationals come out on
national,
top
yeah.
rather, and yeah, and football, right? Football's always a hot topic, so a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. I guess I don't know. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the Knicks?
I'll tell you, you're a Knicks guy. We got to
Yeah.
start with the Knicks, and yeah, we're taking on the Spurs. Greg Popovich, opening night. Obviously a lackluster preseason. We kind of disappointed there, specifically at the point guard position. And now I'm reading articles that Alonzo Trier, however you pronounce it, I say Trier, but people say I pronounce it wrong. But it might maybe in the starting lineup.
Yeah, you might be. And listen, me and Tony Crow actually had a conversation about this a couple weeks ago, and I did a video where we posed the question: is it possible that Alonzo Trier and RJ Barrett could start in the backcourt? Right? It would be Alonzo Trier, RJ Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and at the time we said Mitch Robinson, but Mitch Robinson, of course, is hurt. He's got an ankle
Right.
injury, so he may not even play. Um, so you're looking at Mitch Robinson or Bobby Portis. I actually think it could work.
So Barrett would kind of run the point, you think?
Yes, I think Barrett would be the primary ball handler and facilitator. They may go back and forth, but because Barrett has the ability to facilitate a little bit, he has the ability to facilitate. I think it could work, and it can work defensively because RJ Barrett is, he's 6'7". Alonzo Trier is 6'4", 6'5". So Alonzo Trier can guard, the smaller point guards. RJ Barrett can guard the taller shooting guards. So it still works that way, right? And then off the bench, you got Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina, or Dennis Smith Jr. and you got Wayne Ellington. It still works size-wise, and it still works as far as the way that they play, because Dennis Smith Jr. is the type of guy that wants to, he wants to get to the basket, right? He
He's
wants
kind
to
of
score the
similar
basketball.
he's kind of similar to a Trier.
Exactly.
Where,
So
yeah, where
so
he wants
so
to come in and yeah.
right. So it could still work because Frank Ntilikina is 6'7", so he can basically play the 3 spot. He can play like a point forward, right? He might be the primary ball handler, but on the defensive end, maybe he's guarding the 3. Wayne Ellington guarding the shooting guard, and Dennis Smith Jr. playing defense on the backup point guard. So it could still work there. And then you put Kevin Knox at the 4, backing up Julius Randle, and then Taj Gibson at the 5. So
Yeah.
it could work a little bit. I think it could work. Um,
That's one of the strengths and weaknesses of this team. They have
right.
a lot of depth, but by the same token, they don't have any great players. It's just a bunch of it's kind of like last year, but with more established pros, where last year you had 10, 11 guys and they couldn't really figure out the lineups. I think it's going to be a similar problem this year, but at least you have some established pros like a Julius Randle
Yeah.
and an Elfrid Payton, guys like that, even though Elfrid Payton sucked in the preseason. But how do you think we stack up with this Spurs team tonight? You think we're in trouble?
I don't think we're in trouble like you would think with the Spurs in the past. In the past the Spurs were this, super duper team, and they were gonna outsmart you, outplay you, outwork you, in every facet of the game. I don't think this is the same Spurs team. You know what I mean? I think this is a different team. You know what I'm saying? They are They were 2-3 in the preseason. They do shoot very well from three. I think they shot like 43 or 43, close to 44% from the field. Um, I'm not as afraid of this Spurs team as I would have been in the past. I think that if the Knicks come out, the Knicks should be motivated. Given everything that happened with Marcus Morris, there's going to be noise surrounding that. Um, the Knicks have a lot of anger to let out, I think. Based on just everything that's been all through the summer, right? They didn't get KD, they didn't get Kyrie, they got a bunch of second-rate B players. So I think these guys are motivated and want to come out and prove a point. So I feel like they're gonna get a win tonight. I feel like they're gonna get a win.
Really?
Yes. I feel like
you think they're gonna go? You think they're gonna? Wow. I don't, but I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like a split on the road, whether it's in Brooklyn or in San Antonio. It doesn't matter to me. And then I read that the Brooklyn Nets are running their mouth again with Durant and Kyrie. But what else is new there? Trying to take over the city. I don't care if they win 82 games. The Knicks are still New York's team. But yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to win tonight. I really do. I'm trying to go in with like realistic expectations this year, and I was really disappointed with the way this team played in the preseason. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope they're just getting their feet wet and they start to hit a stride once the regular season starts. But this team has just disappointed me way too many times, Sim.
No, I get you there. I understand that that's kind of their mo. Disappoint you even when they're good. They find a way to disappoint you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's like being a Met. It's like being a Met fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And a Giant fan.
And a Giants fan.
Giants too recently.
But I do kind of feel like I don't know. I feel good for tonight. I just feel like they're motivated and ready to go. Or let me not say ready to go. I feel like they're motivated. I don't know if they're ready to go, but I really do feel like they're motivated. And when I say they're not ready to go, obviously they don't have their total offense in. They don't know. They're not sure their rotations and those type of things. But I feel like they might surprise some people and pull out a win tonight. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I can tell you that. It's not going to be easy at all. Because you're dealing with a master, Greg Popovich is a master.
Yeah. Best coach ever, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I mean, Popovich is incredible. He's like Belichick. He's the Belichick of the NBA.
Right.
He's incredible.
Exactly. And there's only so much that you can do with the talent that you have, though. You know what I mean? And they don't have the same type of talent that they had in years past on this team.
Well, you don't have Kawhi Leonard. You don't have Tim Duncan. No.
Right. You got.
But
I mean, if you look at the matchups,
well, you got Aldridge, you got DeRozan.
Right, you got Aldridge and DeRozan. Right, I'm not a big fan of LaMarcus Aldridge. I've never been a big fan of LaMarcus Aldridge. Even when they wanted to bring, there was this talk about him coming to the Knicks. I was never like, oh yeah, we got to go get Aldridge. I don't know. I was never a fan of the way that he plays.
I'll tell you, I was when he was on Portland, and I thought he was going to come in there because I thought he was kind of very similar to Duncan. That's 6'11" guy that could step out, shoot it. He was always good off the glass, on the baseline jumper. And he had a pretty good year last year, if I remember correctly. But I thought Aldridge was going to come in there and they weren't going to miss a beat when they got him when Duncan retired. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. I was disappointed with Aldridge. I thought he was going to play much better in San Antonio.
Yeah. I've just never been a fan. And I've never been a huge fan of DeMar DeRozan either. You know what I mean? So I feel like, those are their two main players, and then you got Murray. You got the point guard Murray, who's pretty good. He may, I think though, inserting Trier in that offense in that lineup, gives someone who can, whatever offense that Murray would give the Spurs, he might be able to offset it. Alonzo Trier might be able to offset it. Now, do we have someone that can offset what DeRozan does? Hopefully RJ Barrett can.
Hopefully Barrett. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully Barrett. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully Barrett can. And then Julius Randle should be able to offset LaMarcus Aldridge, I think.
Should
You
be
know,
able to.
yeah. So
Talent-wise, when you look at their roster, they have a lot of names, but they're older, right? Rudy Gay is 33, DeRozan's 30, Aldridge's 34. The Knicks talent-wise kind of stack up, but we just don't. I mean, Fizdale versus Popovich is a huge
well, yeah,
mismatch,
yeah. Of course, that's a huge. Yeah, that's going to be a huge mismatch. Fizdale versus
and you're
Popovich.
and you're on the and you're on the road.
Right. Right, and you're on the road. That's the one thing. I don't know what the Knicks' record is in San Antonio. So that's going to be a
I would
challenge
venture.
being on the road.
I'd venture to say not very good in recent
Right,
years.
right.
If I had to guess, probably like 0 like 2-20 or something in San Antonio over the last however many years.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, hopefully they get us a win. It gives the team a lot of hope. And the guys, obviously, I'm going to be looking at tonight. And again, I'm going to have to DVR it because I'm going to be at work till 10 o'clock. But the guys I'm going to be looking at tonight, RJ Barrett, obviously, really want to see how he does. And it'll be interesting to see how all the young guys do, but specifically Barrett. And you know what? He played really good down the stretch of preseason.
mm-hmm.
So he was getting to the basket. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do this year. I think he's going to have a huge year. And we might have dodged the bullet not getting Zion Williamson. Might have dodged the bullet. He's already having injury problems.
Yeah,
And I hope not. I hope he's great for the league if he could play, but he had an injury. He had the knee problem in summer league when he played the Knicks,
right.
ironically enough. And now he's got another knee problem. He's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. So maybe the Knicks got lucky and not getting the number 1 pick and getting RJ Barrett.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, listen, Zion Williamson, he had the knee problem, or was it an ankle or knee? I don't remember. In Duke, he had a problem in Duke, right? When he busted out the shoe.
I think it was a knee.
It was a
Yeah,
knee.
I think it was a knee.
I think it was a knee when he busted out the shoe, and then of course summer league, and now he's out. 6 to 8 weeks. He brought it up, and he was showing the way that Zion Williamson walks. He was showing, he really broke it down scientifically, and why he's concerned that Zion could have problems for his career if he doesn't fix a few things as well as lose weight. I mean, he went from 6'4", 6'3", or 6'4" in high school, weighing 175 pounds, to 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", and weighing 275 pounds. That's a lot of weight to manage without, you grew 3 inches. You know what I'm saying? And that's a
whole
lot
person.
Exactly. Right.
100 pounds, that's a whole person. Not me. I haven't been 100 pounds since like 5th grade, but 100 pounds is a lot of weight. And last I read, it was 285, I thought. But either way, it's hard to maintain that weight at his size and hold up. So I think he's going to have to drop probably 20 pounds if he wants to last long-term in the league. And I'll tell you, it's not a good start to his career having knee problems like that. You hope for the best because he's the type of player that could really excite people, right? And the league needs players like that.
Right. And this is the thing about RJ Barrett, man. He already has an NBA body, right? So he has an NBA-sized body already, but he doesn't play with a lot of speed. He doesn't have this uber, super duper jumping ability, right? So he plays. Okay, I'm going to say this, but I don't want people to take it the wrong way, right? His body type and his body type is like Carmelo Anthony almost. Carmelo Anthony was never super athletic. He couldn't jump out the building. He didn't have blazing speed, right? So if the game remained the same, since people say that, Carmelo didn't change with the game. So if the game remained the same, he would last without injuries happening, kind of like Paul Pierce. Like Paul Pierce was slow as molasses, but, he was 37 years old, and he was still able to get his shot off and do certain things. RJ Barrett's kind of the same way. He's going to have a different game than Carmelo Anthony, so I'm not saying that he's going to be a ball stopper, right? But the way the structure of his body, he doesn't play with speed, he plays with craftiness. You know what I mean? He's
like
crafty.
James Harden.
Like James Harden, right. He's crafty the
Yeah.
way that he gets to the rim. He's not coming down the lane looking to dunk on you and those type of things. I don't think you're going to see a lot of injuries from RJ Barrett throughout his career because his body's, he doesn't play with that type of abandon going to the rim and those type of things. So he's not putting the same wear and tear on his body like a Zion Williamson is, or a Dennis Smith Jr., or like Derrick Rose. He's not jumping
Russell Westbrook,
high.
guys
Russell
like that.
Westbrook, yeah. He's not jumping high, dunking, and landing on his knees. And those
Yeah.
type of things. Yeah, we may have been very, very fortunate, that we didn't get that number
Yeah,
one
by
pick.
no means. Yeah, I saw King in the chat say, "Don't start that, Chris, saying that Barrett's better than Zion." First off, I think Barrett could be better than Zion. I'm not predicting that. Zion's probably, if I had, was a betting man, I would say Zion's gonna have the better career if he stays healthy. All I'm saying is, if I'm a Pelicans fan, I'm starting to worry about Zion's health long
Hmm.
term. Already getting banged up this early in his career, has the history in college. Like you said, 100 pounds of weight. We've seen it happen to a lot of players. The guy that he's most similarly compared to, yes, he had a pretty long career, but Larry Johnson was not the same player after the injuries.
Exactly.
Um, you know, when he came into the league, Larry Johnson was much like a Zion. He took the league by storm. He was on Family Matters, for God's sakes. But no, he took he
Right.
took the league by storm, and everybody was excited about it, much like a Shaq. And Larry Johnson's body couldn't hold up playing that way long term. He was injury riddled throughout his entire career, so he kind of had to change his game up.
Yeah.
So that may be the case with Zion. I hope not. I'd love to see him succeed in the league, but maybe they dodged a bullet. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. We may have, man. We may have. So we'll see. We'll see as time goes on. But Zion Williamson, he's gonna have to do something to take care of his knees, to take care of his body. Maybe even start to work on different ways to play the game. I mean, listen, you don't want to take that explosiveness away from him because that's what he's built on. That's what he is. But he's got to find a way to look. I coach AAU, and one thing that I teach my players is to land on 2 feet, and that's something that doesn't happen a lot nowadays. A lot of guys, a lot of players, guys and girls, they come down and they land on one leg all the time. They go up off of
Right.
one leg, land on one leg, right? When I was taught to go to the basket, I learned how to go off of one leg, but I was taught come in, boom, power up off of 2 legs, land on 2 feet, right? Because you got better balance when you land on 2 feet. When you land on one leg, 1 foot, all of your weight is coming down on that one leg. So guys go way up in the air, come off the rim, and land. And a lot of times they land bop, bop. Or sometimes they land on 1 foot, takes a while to get the other foot down. And, I was taught how to land on 2 feet together at the same time hitting the ground. I have more shock absorption, and the weight can be distributed out between both of my legs. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, a lot of players, they land 1 foot hits and then the other foot hits. And there's just a chance that you're going to land with 1 foot and the knee's going to buckle. Because all of your weight is coming down on that one leg. It's just, so I try to teach my players to come down on 2 feet, land with 2 feet, bend your knees when you come down
See, I would
so
never
you
even
have some
think of
shock absorption,
I would never even think about that. That's what's great about your channel because I guess you're a coach and everything else is. I would never even think about that watching a game. That guy didn't come down on 2 knee, but it makes a lot of sense, especially
Yeah,
when you're the size of a guy like a Zion Williamson.
exactly.
And like I said, I hope he holds up. But as far as Barrett goes, I think Barrett's gonna have a really good year this year. I think a lot of Knicks fans maybe down on him a little bit. He may struggle with his shot early on, but I think Barrett's gonna be a really good pro. I did not have the. I know you loved. I don't know if you still do. Loved Knox last year. I did not have that strong of a feeling with Knox in terms of being like a really good player last year. With Barrett, I do. I think Barrett's going to be a bona fide star in this league. And I hope I'm right. And I think I will be. I think he's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing this kid play this year.
Yeah, me too.
I was thrilled when we got him. Just needs to work on that shot, both at the free throw line and the 3-point line. But I think he will. I think it'll get better throughout his career. A lot of players come into the league with not the best free throw percentage, and it improves. Even Harden, a guy who I compare him to. Not saying he's going to be Harden. I don't expect him to
Right.
be Harden, but I do think I think they have similar games. Even Harden, when he came into the league, he was in college. He was better than Barrett, but he was still like a 85% free throw shooter. Now he's what, 85, 86, 87. So I think Barrett could work on that and at least get it up to mid 70s, high 70s at the free throw line and get a more efficient 3-point shot. I'm
Yeah.
not too worried about it. I think he will improve
Right.
in those areas.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, listen, if RJ Barrett improves his 3-point shot, let's say he's already shooting it in the preseason at least better than in college. All right, he's at 33%. We'll see if that lasts throughout the season. I kind of thought that he would because, with Julius Randle being able to stuff the ball down in the post, Bobby Portis can get the ball in the post. These guys, going to suck in defenses, and he'll get a lot of wide open shots. So I thought that would help his percentage. But if he can, in time throughout his career, get the shooting where he's up to 36, 37%, if he can ever become a 36, 37% three-point shooter, he can raise his free throw shooting to 75, 80%, and he can get a mid-range, he'll average 25 points a game.
Easy. And he's going to get to the free throw line. We've seen it in preseason. We've seen it throughout his collegiate career. I think he averaged 6 or 7 free throw attempts a game in college. The guy has a knack because of his craftiness, like you said, at creating contact and getting to the line. So he's got to get the free throw percentage up because that's easy points because he's going to get to the charity stripe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game. So if he gets to the free throw line 8, 9 times a game and he's knocking down 80%, that you're getting 6, 7 points a night right there. And I think he's gonna be a really good pro. I'm really excited about him. I think he's gonna be one of the 2 or 3 key pieces when this team gets really good. And he better be. We spent the 3rd overall pick on him, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the journey of Barrett, and obviously hoping Mitch and Knox progress off their first year. Mitch, I always say it. I worry about the fouls. He's got to get better though with those ticky-tack fouls. But in terms of a shot blocking presence, there's nobody better in the league. So, hopefully he takes a big step forward this year. And Knox, I need to see a lot more this year, and I hope I do.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm looking forward to this year. Randall, I know is Randall. Randall's going to get his 22 and 12.
Right.
And we'll see what we got this year. I'm looking forward to it, man. Regardless of win or loss, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and hopefully Marcus Morris is going to be a good mentor for Kevin Knox. You know what I'm saying? And help him develop some of that dog a little bit. I don't know if you can develop that, but if you can, hopefully Marcus Morris can help him. And
he certainly got it. He's certainly got it. Getting kicked out of preseason games.
Yeah, exactly. He's got it. I mean, he's got it.
Yeah, I like Morris though. I like that attitude that he brings, and I'm glad that he's here. I think it was a good signing by the Knicks because it's a guy that you could trade right at the deadline.
Yep.
If you don't think he's going to be a part of the future, you get a draft pick for him. So I think it was a great signing by the Knicks. Great signing.
Yeah, and speaking of trades, we had a guy on the show whenever the last show was. We had a guy on the show. His name is Israel. And he said he has a friend, he's a barber, so he cuts hair. And he said that whoever it was, some guy, who he cuts their hair, he comes into the shop and he's friends with Royal Ivy and they talk. He said they talk all the time, like every day, every other day. And what he said is that the Knicks are very, very interested in trading for D'Angelo Russell or Drew Holiday. And so of course.
So we heard it from a barber. Maybe that's our inside scoop.
Barber. Yeah, maybe that might be the inside scoop, man. It might be the inside scoop.
But everybody said Ivy's connection, obviously, through his playing days with Durant, was going to bring Durant here. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah. But
and now
I just can't wait. I love Drew Holiday. I like Drew Holiday a lot.
He's a defender. He can score. Oh yeah. And listen, who would be traded would be, of course, 1 or 2 of the point guards, a first round pick, from the first round pick from the Mavericks, and Kevin Knox.
Right. For Holiday. Now Holiday makes a lot of money, doesn't he? He makes about 28, 29, $30 million a year.
I think he's like $26 million.
Okay. How old is he? He's what, 28, 29?
Yeah, about 28, 29. Listen, if the Knicks do something like that, if they do that for Drew Holiday, then that they're trying to win today. They're trying to win right now with this group. Listen, they could trade for Drew Holiday right now. If they were really interested, they could try to trade for Drew Holiday now. Would the New Orleans Pelicans trade Drew Holiday? Probably not. I think that they're looking to see if they can get into the playoffs. I
Right.
think they still have their eyes on the playoffs. D'Angelo Russell, they wouldn't be able to trade for D'Angelo Russell until December the 15th, right? Because that's when he's available to
Mhm.
be traded.
But with
Uh,
D'Angelo Russell, why would Golden State trade him? I know that, Klay Thompson might come back at some point, but I mean, they're trying to compete for a championship. Why would they trade him?
I don't know if they think if I mean I guess we'll have to see how the fit is. How does he fit with Steph Curry? Because they're I don't want to say that they're similar players, but they're both point guards who want to
Have the ball in their hand.
have the ball in their hands, conduct the offense, and those type of things. Now Steph Curry can obviously come off screens, right? He can be a shooting guard. He can come off screens, run off
Oh
screens,
yeah.
catch and shoot, and all that type of stuff. So he doesn't have to, he can play that role while D'Angelo Russell has the ball. And I don't think Steph Curry has a problem with playing that role. So we'll see how Steve Kerr, listen, now we'll find out if Steve Kerr can actually coach. I mean,
Yeah, and I think you can.
I think he can
Yeah.
too. But there's always been the
Yeah.
question: can he actually coach? Was this team, already made for him? Now we'll see what he
Yeah.
can do.
I'm a lot more confident that that pairing will work, in Golden State than the pairing in Houston.
Oh
I
yeah,
do think that yeah, I do think that Russell and Curry will work. I think they spread the ball beautifully over there in Golden State. I think they have a great system. Houston, I honestly think that's a horrible match. I think it's gonna be fun to watch them play together.
right.
But, Westbrook and Harden, I do not like that pairing at all. Yeah, they do the same thing. They're ball dominant players. I don't like that pairing at all, with those 2.
Yeah, that's going to be terrible. I think that's just going to end. It's going to end in horror. It's going to be a horror show. I think. It's just hard for
Yeah,
me to see. I know that they played together in OKC years ago, right? But it was different. Russell Westbrook was the bona fide starter. James Harden came off the bench, right?
right.
It was different. Fast forward to however many years later, they're both. I mean, James Harden is clearly the better player, right? And but they're both stuck. They've been playing their way for however long. It's not going to be easy for them to put it together. I don't think it's going to be easy for them to put it together. We'll see.
Yeah, they'll probably they'll
We'll see.
probably they'll still make the playoffs, but I don't see them as a real threat, in the West.
Yeah,
I know, if you just look at talent, yeah, but I don't know, I don't like that fit at all.
yeah,
The Clippers looked good last night. The Clippers are probably still I think the best team in the league.
yeah. Listen, the
Clippers.
Clippers, they are some dogs, and they didn't even have Paul George last night.
I
They,
know,
oh my gosh,
and they still beat the Lakers by 10.
right? They are
That's
going
crazy.
to be trouble. They're going to be a lot of trouble. The Clippers are. I don't know what anyone can do with that team. I really don't. I don't. I'm not
They're a
ready to
good
say
team.
that they're gonna have like a record wins of 70 something games, but they're gonna be very 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 good. I mean, because their defense and you got a guy like Pat Beverly leading the charge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he doesn't lead the charge. He's not leading the charge with points and assists. He's leading the charge with defense, hustle, and emotion. That type of leadership. You know what I'm saying? And and then
Yeah.
and it resonates
He's
through
he's
everybody.
kinda Beverly's kinda what you want Ntilikina to be.
Yeah, exactly,
You
exactly.
know, a guy that has now he does a better job right now, obviously, it's setting up the offense, but a guy that, he's a leader from the defensive end more so than putting the ball in the basket. But that team is just really good. They were a really good team last year, and now you add, those 2 players, and like you said, obviously, George didn't play last night, but even without George, they get 30 from, Leonard, 21 off the bench from Williams. Williams is the best 6 man in the sport. And I like Harrell, I really like. He's one
Arrow.
of those old school players. I like him a lot. They're just a really good basketball team. They got those tough, gritty guys, but they also got those great superstar players that can put the ball in the basket.
Right.
It's a really good match there.
Yeah.
Everything I think is going to fit there.
Yeah.
I like the Clippers a lot.
And both of their superstar players are guys who will give up the basketball. You know what I'm saying? So like putting
Right.
together Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is not like putting together Russell Westbrook and James Harden. You know what I'm saying? Because both of these guys are willing to pass the ball and let somebody else be, the star for the night, or let somebody else, have their moment to shine. With Russell Westbrook and James Harden, it's questionable. They're just going to be so tough. They're just going to be tough to deal with. Some other teams I like out in the West, I think Utah is going to be very tough to deal with. They're going to be another team that is gritty and defensive, with Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Those guys are going to be a gritty team. And,
Love them.
yeah.
Love Utah this year. Love them. Yeah.
My only question is,
I,
can Donovan Mitchell step up to the next level so that he is he's a go-to guy type of a scorer. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know who else is going to go get those buckets for him. Joe Ingles. It's Ingles, right? Is it Ingles or Ingles?
I think it's Ingles. I'm almost
Ingles.
positive it's Ingles.
Yeah. He's going, he can score for them. He's a crafty scorer. He can knock down the three.
And they brought in Bogdanovich, too.
You got Bogdanovich, right. So
they got a good team. They got a really good team, Utah.
Yeah, so they are they're going to be really good. I think Denver may end up being the second best team in the West. So I think Denver's going to be really good. A lot of people
sleeping on Denver.
Yeah.
A lot of people still sleep on them.
Exactly. A lot of people sleep on Denver. I think they could end up being the second best team in the West. Let me see who else is out there. Portland should be pretty good.
You got Portland. Yeah, Portland. I mean, the West is loaded. Even the Pelicans, if Zion's healthy, have a lot of talent. The Mavericks have talent. Obviously with the two guys they got going over there, I'm really excited to see them play. I think that'll be fun to see. I know a lot of Knicks fans are going to be rooting against them, but I think it's a really interesting pairing over there that Dallas has.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Golden State, you still can't count them out. You can't count Golden State out.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't. A lot of people are, but you can't count Golden State out because they were good before KD. Now, obviously, Klay Thompson is hurt, but, they got D'Angelo Russell. He's not going to do what Klay Thompson does. They'll have to play a little bit different, but they still have a lot of talent there. With Draymond Green, and you got Steph Curry. They lost Andre Iguodala, so that's a big loss. I think Deshaun Livingston, I think he's gone as well.
He is.
Right.
I'm almost positive he is. I remember that, yeah.
They're going through some changes, but I think they'll still be a playoff team.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about the NFL real quick. The New York Giants, man, what the hell is going on this way? They lose to the freaking Arizona Cardinals at home.
Oh my gosh, man. I don't know if it's because Daniel Jones comes from the Manning camp, but these turnovers gotta stop. I mean, listen. If you have Eli Manning as your mentor, you might fumble the football and throw interceptions. How many turnovers did he have against Arizona?
He had 3. He fumbled 3 times. He lost 2, and he threw a pick. And he easily could have thrown another. Now I'm not gonna put it all on Daniel Jones. I thought Shermer called a bad game, especially in the pouring rain. Why are you throwing the football as much as you are?
Right.
The fourth down, the 3rd and 15, 3rd and 18, they run the football. That was mind-boggling.
Oh my God! And then go for it on 4th down.
4th and 15.
4th and 15. Right. I mean, they had no choice but to go for it. But you got to be able to.
No, they could have punted. There was 3.5 minutes left, and you still had 2 timeouts plus 2-minute warning.
I mean, they could have. I thought that Arizona was moving the ball well enough where if they would have punted, they probably may not have gotten the ball back. There.
But knowing that, you can't run on 3rd and 18.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you got to make the decision at that 3rd down. You got to make the decision. We're either going for it or we're gonna punt. And if we're gonna go for it at third and
Right.
18, you got to try to throw it and pick up 10, 12 yards at least. I mean,
Right.
because what's the
Right.
difference between third and 18 and 4 and 15? Not much difference.
No difference.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
come
a
on.
hope and a prayer. It's a hope and a prayer at that point, especially with the way they were able to move the football through the air during that game.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Giants now 2-5. They got the Lions up next. Not looking good there,
no,
unfortunately for the Giants fans. Hopefully Daniel Jones continues to get better and the defense matures. But could be a long year. And the Jets, man, the Jets got absolutely embarrassed on Monday Night Football.
right.
I'm going. I called
Get,
the game, and I'm like, you know what? Jets had a really good performance the week before. They beat the Cowboys, and I'm like, maybe they could put up a fight here against New England. I really thought they were going to. And Sam Darnold, he looked lost. I think he threw 3 or 4 picks. He fumbles the football. And I don't know if you heard, he's got the microphone on, and he doesn't realize he's being taped throughout the game. Or I think he does, but he just forgets. And he tells his teammates that he feels like he's seeing ghosts out there because he's so scared with the New England defense. And yeah, the Jets, man, they just get picked on by the media. They
yeah,
get picked on by the
yeah.
media.
Guillermo, I feel bad for you because the Jets. I mean, we got on the stream that night, and Guillermo didn't want to touch. He didn't want to talk about the Jets at all. He stayed away from it. We had the rapper Sky Zoo on. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to touch the Jets at all. He was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for you, Guillermo. I'm not gonna leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was gonna mention you, of course. I'm not gonna leave you alone. I know he was embarrassed. It was an embarrassing game. And look, I wanted the Jets to win. Obviously,
I did too.
I'm not a
Yeah.
Patriots fan at all. I wanted the Jets to win. One of my best friends is a Patriots fan. He's from New York, but he's a Patriots fan. Yeah, I guess when he was in the military, he was in Maine. He was stationed in Maine, so he became a Patriots fan. But I wanted the Jets to. I wanted the Jets to at least play a good game, maybe pull out a win. They got smacked. They
Oh,
they got they took the kind of beating um, that can make your whole season just be done. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like it was
oh,
the type of game where you can say, okay, you know what? All right, like when the Giants lost to the Patriots they lost to the Patriots. They ended up losing by
but they
double
played
digits,
good. They
whatever it
played
was, but
tough.
they played tough. And so you can take something
Right.
from it. You can take it and be like, okay, you know what? This could be, we could springboard off of this. They didn't, but
No,
you
they did
felt like
not.
that.
They belly flopped. They belly
Right,
flopped.
right.
Uh, but no, the Jets, that's a crippling loss. Now they're 1-5. Their season's over in terms of the playoffs. Um, Obviously, their mindset now has to be improving Sam Darnold, make sure he doesn't kiss any girls with mono, and go out there and try to win as many games as you possibly
Yeah,
can. But the Jets
right.
and Giants are both not going to the playoffs.
Neither one of them.
In terms of around the league, though, there were two really big trades yesterday. The Patriots added a wide receiver,
Yes.
as if they needed it. They had Mohamed Sanu, formerly of Rutgers, a really good pickup for them. They give up a second round pick, which I thought was a lot, but at the end of the day, they're competing for a Super Bowl. So I thought it was a really good pickup for the Patriots and the 49ers, who I think are a really a big surprise team this year.
Right.
I mean, I think a lot of people thought they were going to be much better, getting Garoppolo back. They really improved that defense in the offseason. But the 49ers go out there and they get a really good receiver as well, and Emmanuel Sanders, which was their biggest weakness. So the two unbeaten teams make two big moves yesterday, and they're kind of set themselves up for a Super Bowl run.
For a
Both those
Super
teams.
Bowl run, yeah, to face off
Yeah.
against each other in the Super Bowl. Yeah, my buddy let me know about the Patriots too. I mean, obviously I already knew about it, but listen, anybody that comes under Bill Belichick and those guys, they're gonna listen when they go out and they look for players. They're looking for players that are gonna fit inside of what they do. That's why I was surprised when they did pick up Antonio Brown, right?
Yes.
Not that he's devoid of talent. Of course, he has talent, right? But I was like, I didn't see how Bill Belichick was really going to deal with him because there's no nonsense over there. They don't play. You know what I'm saying? And so I was
I will
very
say,
surprised.
I will say though, they have shown the willingness to take
Yes,
on players with a history before
right.
and hope that they could fit. Josh Gordon's a perfect example. Josh
Uh,
Gordon they brought on last year. He continued to have the alcohol problems or the drug problems. They released him, and then they brought him back again this year.
Yeah,
So they've shown the willingness to buy low, but if you screw up, they say goodbye.
you're out of there.
And yeah, so they
They
said, all right,
yeah,
we're getting this guy for nothing. They took a shot, and the second he screwed up, they got rid of him.
got rid of him. They did it with Randy Moss back in the day, right?
Randy Moss, and that worked out. I
That
mean, they didn't
worked
win a
out.
Super Bowl because of our Giants, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Randy Moss was on the downturn of his career. Everybody forgets that with the Raiders, he couldn't do anything,
yeah,
and he comes to New England, he's the best receiver in football.
right. And I guess it's when you have a structure in place, and you have that structure, you have a culture. You can take chances like that because you had the leadership. Where if someone starts, if someone gets out of line, you got the leadership in place. So, yeah, I mean, anyone that goes there, listen, they're very strategical in the way that they go out and get players.
Mhm.
And, they look like the Spurs, like the Spurs, right? They look for players that are going to fit inside what they do. And so they when they go out and get a player, they know exactly what they're getting and what they're doing. And they don't take. I don't feel like they take many chances. They take a few chances, not many. But with that Antonio Brown, that was a chance, at someone who could, be transcending, and it didn't work out. So they went ahead and did what they did, get him out of here. And that's why they have, they have that kind of a culture set up.
Yeah, and it fills their biggest need too. They need that weapon because they lose Gronk.
Yeah.
As good as the Patriots have looked, and the Patriots are on pace to break records this year. They're 7-0. They've given up, I think, let me look at it real quick. They've given up, I think it's like 48 points they've given up in 7 games. That's ridiculous. 48 points in 7 games, that's 7 points a contest.
That's
That's
crazy.
insane. The
That's
NFL record
crazy.
the NFL record, I think, is 165 by the Ravens in, 2000. So they're on
Wow.
pace to crush that.
Yeah.
Now, granted they haven't played the best teams. They're also on pace to crush the, all-time point differential record. I think that's about 260. They're already at plus 175. So they're on pace to crush everything. Statistically, they may go undefeated. Now their schedule is definitely going to get harder here these next 5 games. I think they got one more gimme, and then they have like 5 tough games in a row. But New England has a shot to go undefeated this year
Yeah.
because that defense is that good. The defense is ridiculous.
It is. It's ridiculous. Hey,
Uh,
but
yeah,
hey, the Giants got 21 of those 48 points. They almost got half of those points. I-
14. Giants got
Oh,
14.
14. Why did I say 21? They lost by
Yeah,
21. What was the score of that game?
yeah, they got 35-14.
Okay, they lost by 21.
They
That's
only
why.
got one offensive touch.
Yeah, I tried to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
add.
yeah.
Yeah,
They lost
yeah,
by
yeah.
20, but
Yeah.
they only got they only got one offensive touchdown. The other one was
Right.
I think it was a block punt, right? Oh no, it was some I don't remember, but it was only one offensive touchdown. But I mean they were ridiculous. Yeah, in the Jet game they
Yeah.
gave up 14, but that was a pick six when Brady was on the bench.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna kill teams. But their upcoming schedule does get a little harder. They play the Browns, who suck. You want to talk about the most disappointing team in football, Cleveland Browns. But then they got at the Ravens, at the Eagles, Cowboys, at the Texans, and the Chiefs. So if they get through those 5 games, they're going to go undefeated,
Yeah.
and it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they can do it this year.
Hey, you know what? Whoever it was told Odell Beckham, if you don't get your act straight, we're gonna ship you off to Cleveland. So that's what they did. They shipped him off to Cleveland. Now he's out there. Whereas perennially, no matter what happens, they seem to be trash. That's
Oh my
just
God!
Cleveland. How can you not be a
Everybody's
good?
talking about Cleveland this year. Like, yeah, well, I'll tell you how they brought in all these skill position players, right?
Yeah,
They have Odell Beckham. They got Jarvis Landry, Njoku. They got the rookie running back Chubb, but they got rid of their most important piece on their offense, arguably, Kevin Zeitler. He's a great offensive lineman. They trade him to the Giants, and their offensive line has been awful since then. And
right,
Baker Mayfield has taken a huge step back because they don't have the protection they've had.
right.
So that's a big part of it. But they have a lot of really talented players there, but they've just been horrible. And Mayfield got what he deserved. That guy runs his mouth left and right, and he's got egg on his face
Yeah,
the way he's
yeah,
played.
yeah. And listen, that's like the
You
Brooklyn
know,
Nets. That's like the Nets. I mean, we'll get back to football, but um, everyone, they got Kyrie Irving and KD. Obviously, KD is hurt, and DeAndre Jordan. Uh, but one of the guys that was helping to put that whole thing together and help them build the chemistry was D'Angelo Russell. Now he's gone. He's shipped off. And you bring in a guy like Kyrie Irving, who is not. He's a chemistry killer. You know what I'm saying? And like with the Browns, you bring in Odell Beckham, who an amazing talent, but he's kind of a chemistry killer too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think culture has a lot to do with it too. They bring in Freddie Kitchens, who a lot of people said to begin with, and I think that has something to do with it too. But I mean,
yeah,
they're just a complete mess over there. And a lot of people, everybody's picking the
yeah,
Chargers to contend for a Super Bowl. They're 2-5. The Eagles 3-4.
yeah,
There's a lot of disappointing teams this year, but the Browns are near the top of the list.
yeah. They gotta be.
Giants once again.
The
Go ahead,
Giants,
go ahead.
yeah, the Giants. We'll see.
Two and five.
I don't know. Two and
Yeah.
five. Daniel Jones. Listen, I still think Daniel Jones is the guy, though. I do. I just what I can see. He's got to be able to recognize coverages and stuff like that. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
He got the starting position without taking many starter reps. At least I don't think he took many starter reps before he became the starter. I can't say what was going on in practice, but he probably didn't have that, those kind of starter reps. So he's learning on the fly. You know what I mean? He's learning how to do this on the fly, and he get this year under his belt,
I
right, and then
yeah.
come back next year. Get this year in the NFL, and then come back next year and see. So this be a I don't know what you want to call it, a learning year for
Learning
him.
experience.
Yeah, a learning
Learning.
year for him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all quarterbacks go through this. Eli Manning was horrible his rookie year. Peyton Manning was horrible his rookie year. So, I'm not going to say Dan Jones is the guy yet, but I'm also not going to say he's not the guy. So I got to wait and evaluate and judge, after year two. So he's going to go through his bumps. I personally think they brought him in a little too early. I don't think he was ready. But at the end of the day, hopefully he learns from the mistakes and hopefully the pressure doesn't get to him because New York fans are going to be all over him if he continues to struggle. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he goes out there this week and plays great against the Lions. It's going to be a tough opponent, though. We'll have to wait and see, man. Have to wait and see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. So the Nationals won Game 1, and I'm not
Yeah,
a baseball aficionado, but they're going
yeah.
crazy here in the DC area. You know, um, they're going crazy here. Fresh off of the Washington Mystics winning the WNBA championship. Now the Nationals are in the World Series and they win Game 1. What do you think? Game 2 tonight?
Yeah. Well, first off, the Washington. I don't know how you celebrate a WNBA championship. That's like a AAA baseball team winning a championship. But 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 as far as the Nationals go, um, they had the best. They had the best pitcher best pitcher in baseball go last night, and Max Scherzer pitched a good game. Houston has more talent. They do. They won 107 games. They have a really good team, great lineup. But Scherzer pitched good last night, considering the opponent. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, and Nationals get out of there with a much needed win on the road. And now the Nationals have a chance to really put a stranglehold on this series because even if they lose tonight, games 3 through 5 are going to be in Washington. So I'm obviously a Mets fan. I'm not rooting for this team, and I'm rooting for the Astros.
Yeah.
But yeah, tonight though, if Washington ever won this game tonight, and they got Strasburg going. Strasburg's another really good pitcher going against Verlander, so a great matchup on the hill tonight.
Yep.
If the Nationals ever won this game tonight, though, yeah, they as crazy as it sounds, they might be the champions. And this was a
Yeah.
team going into the year. A lot of people they lose Bryce Harper, who's like the poster child of baseball, and everybody says they're done. And this was a team that a lot of people wrote off at the beginning of the year. And I'm a Met. You're a Met fan, so National League East. A lot of people had the Nationals finishing last, second to last.
Right.
Phillies made all the Phillies bring in Harper. They bring in Real Muto. They make all these big moves. The Mets make a lot of moves. They bring in Cano. They improve the bullpen with Edwin Diaz. And the Braves have all that young talent over there. So the Nationals find a way to get into the playoffs, and they win tonight. They're probably going to win the World Series, which
Yeah,
is crazy.
exactly. Yeah. Listen, I have some Strasburg memorabilia at home. And
Yeah.
it was donated to my AAU team. And I think this is the perfect time to sell it. It's probably the perfect
Yeah.
time to sell it. Do it now. Put
Yeah.
it out there now. Get it out there and try to get some money off of it. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
James Sanchez said, "Two Mets fans. I love it."
Yeah, and you know what? I'm optimistic. One thing, the Mets. I'm actually going to make a video on that. Probably this weekend because I know I got to. Guillermo's a big Met fan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video on the managerial candidates for the Mets because they're looking at a bunch of guys, and I'm hoping they get Joe Girardi. I would love Joe Girardi to be the Mets manager. I think he's a
Yeah.
great manager. I never understood why the Yankees let him go. And I think the Mets are a win now team. They started off really poorly this year, but they came on strong. They won 86 games, and they
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of talent. They have a ton of talent.
Yes.
It's just that they're both been disappointed. But the Mets next year, if they can get that bullpen situated, they could be a World Series contender. I mean, you look around; they have so much talent around the diamond. Rosario is a really good emerging shortstop. McNeil is great. Alonso broke the rookie record for most home runs in a season. He had 53. They got great talent in the outfield with Conforto, Nimmo. They got Cespedes coming back. The top of the rotation, obviously, DeGrom, one of the top three pitchers in baseball. Syndergaard's got to get his act together, but he's got as much talent as anybody. They bring in Stroman, really good pitcher there. Didn't pitch so well for the Mets at the deadline. But and we'll see what they do with Wheeler. But I think the Mets next year have a lot of talent. They just got to get the right manager. They got to fix the bullpen. But I like the Mets next year. I think they could compete for a World Series. I like the Mets a
Let's
lot.
get it, man. Let's get it. We got to get it
Yeah,
done.
let's get it. Is right.
We got to get it done, man. We need some. When's the last time we had a championship in New York?
Well, the Mets. So ironically enough, MH, one of my best subscribers, and I'm like, holy crap! The Mets are the last New York team to make a championship in 2015. Everybody forgets about that.
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
last New York team, yeah, the last New York team to win, I think, is the Giants. I think
2012.
2011 because. Yeah, 2012. It was the 2011 regular season because it certainly hasn't been the Nets. Certainly hasn't been the Knicks. Islanders, Rangers, no. The Yankees won, I think, in '09. So yeah, I think the Giants are the last New York team to actually win
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well. We need one. We need one. We need. We
Oh,
need
New
to
York
get
has
one,
been
man.
deprived. We've not sniffed the championship in quite some time. It's been tough to be a New York sports fan. Even St. John's, our college team, can't do anything.
Oh my gosh. Listen, St. John's was my favorite team growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I went to a game in Albany. They played Manhattan. It was, I don't know why it was in Albany. I guess it was a tournament or something. And I snuck around to the stadium at the end of the game. I had a St. John's hat. I got Malik Sealy, Louis Carnesec. I had all those guys signing. Yeah, I mean, I was a
Yeah.
huge St. John's fan, man. I ended up losing the hat. I wore it. I don't know why I wore it. That was dumb. I wore it, but
Yeah, I think you told me that story once. That's a great story.
yeah,
I love St. John's too. My dad went there. I didn't go there, but I've always been a huge St. John's fan, and they just can't get it going, man. That program's a mess. They
it's a
fired
mess.
Mullen this year,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's just
after they went through that whole rape thing, I mean,
Jarvis. Yeah,
yeah, with Jarvis. I mean, they weren't even before then. They had fallen off, and they weren't that good. But once the name changed to the Red Storm, and then they
what a
went
stupid name.
terrible name, right? The
What a
name changed to the Red Storm. Then they went through the whole rape thing. It's just been terrible ever since. Terrible ever since.
My favorite St. John's team. I'm a little younger than you. The 99 2000s with Artest and Eric Barkley and LeVar Postel and
Yeah,
Bootsy Thornton.
yeah.
That team was really good, but since then they haven't had a really good team. I mean, that team went to the Elite Eight in '99 with Artest, and they lost to Ohio State, a game they should have won, and they would have been to the Final Four. That Ohio State team was really good. They had Scooney Penn, who I don't think ever made
Mm-hmm.
it big in the pros,
Mm-mm.
and they had Michael Redd, I think. I think they had Michael Redd on that
Yeah.
team.
Yep.
And and, obviously he was a great pro, but, that was a game that I thought that they should have won. They would have been to the Final Four for only the second time. '85, obviously, with Mullen. Um, the year I was born, didn't get to appreciate that team.
Yeah. The only thing you can count on with St. John's is that they'll look up and beat Duke.
Yeah, they
You
always
know,
give Duke. I've seen
you
them
know,
beat Duke. I've seen them beat Duke twice live.
yeah. Somehow they will, but I've been obviously I still follow St. John's, and I'm rooting for them to get back. But until then, I follow Syracuse, which is
Yeah,
hard for me to do because it was such rivals back in the day. But now that the Big East is all broken up, it's not the same anymore. It's all broken up. Syracuse is in the ACC now, I think. Um,
yeah.
so it's different.
Yeah, the Big East used to be a beast, and then
Yeah,
with all the money they all separate. Now you just have the Georgetown still there, St. John's, Villanova, but you used to have I think I don't Pitt's not in there anymore either, right? I think they left the Big East as well, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
But I mean, Notre Dame is not there anymore either. Syracuse is gone. It's just not the same. It's not what it used to be.
It's not, man. It's
And
not.
it's unfortunate. But even, obviously the golden age of the Big East was the '80s.
Right.
And it's not even close to that. That I wish I got to grow up in that. The first college moment I remember is I think it was the Elite Eight or the Final Four, Kentucky versus Duke. I remember watching the game with my dad. The Christian Laettner play. Grant
Oh
Hill throws it into Christian
gosh,
Laettner.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I was watching that.
yeah,
Oh
that
my goodness, that was
yeah, that
something.
was that's one of the most classic moments of college basketball history. Obviously, Chris Webber calling the timeout. I remember that I think it was against Arkansas. I can't remember who it was against in the championship. Yeah, but college basketball is just not the same as it used to be because of the everybody's one and done now. You don't get any familiarity with the teams. Everybody leaves
Yeah,
after 1 year.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
It's so
unfortunate.
right. It's so different now. You know what I mean? Because like you said, those guys back in the day, they stayed until they were juniors, so they were household names before they even went to the NBA. And you didn't have to be like Zion Williamson was a household name because of
Right.
the highlights and all of that stuff. So he was a household name. But when you were in, when you stay in college until you're a junior, right? People, you become a household name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it's good for the NBA because then when you come to the NBA, people already know who you are and people are already watching. They really followed your career. Now, so many guys, they come into the NBA and then they go to the G League. Nobody knows who they are. You know what I mean? And then a couple
Right.
years, they go into the NBA and then they finally make a name for themselves. And they come out better basketball players. But
Mhm.
it's the way that the league is now, and I don't see them going backwards. I don't see it
No.
changing. Especially with so many other alternatives out there. Players can go overseas, before they come to the NBA, and they can play overseas for a year and then come to the NBA. They can go make $1 million overseas, then come to the NBA. So there's so many alternatives now. I don't think it's going to change. You know what I mean?
No, and nor should it. I mean, if I'm a player and I could go to at the end of the day, a lot of these guys that are going to college for athletics are not going there for books. They're going
Exactly.
there to try to become professional athletes. And
Right.
if I'm a kid and I'm like 18 years old, oh my God, I go to Paris for wherever they play for a year and I get paid $1 million, or I stay in college and I stay
Exactly.
in I got to share a dorm with some stranger.
Right.
Yeah, I'm taking $1 million,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
I'm gonna play
yeah.
play
Look.
against some Europeans. I'll get
Right.
drafted.
Exactly. Look, you go to college, you can't make money, you can't get a job and make money, right? You get a 3 meal a day meal plan. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's be fair, Sam. Let's be fair, Sam. They can make money. They pay money into the
Well,
books
they
at the
can.
end of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. They make money
Yeah,
under the books. You know what
you
I'm
you know
saying? They do
Calipari's
that.
doing something to get all those players.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
They can make money that way. But most players can't. Your
right.
big name players can. But even if you get money that way, it's still not going to be $1 million, $2 million that you can get.
No,
Like Brandon
no.
Jennings, right out of high school, he went and played in Italy. He made $1 million, had an Under Armour contract, I believe, right? And
Yeah,
then he played there for a year, and then came to the league.
yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, some players still want to, say, "Oh, I came from Duke, I came from North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas." They still want that on their resume. But that's gonna change, I think, soon. Soon you're gonna get one of these big time. Like, let's say, for example, Zion Williamson said, coming out of high school, he said, "I'm not going to Duke. I'm gonna go to China and play for a year." Imagine what it would have been like in China for that year for him. He would have got a huge contract with Jordan, Nike, whoever, before he even hit the league. Then he would have came into the league. He still would have been the same Zion Williamson, and still marketable. I think. I think he would have
Yeah,
still been marketable.
100%,
You
100%,
know,
and he's got money, and you could argue more marketable because global,
yeah, because it's
right?
global,
Uh,
exactly. And
yeah,
so,
yeah,
just all it takes is one of those guys to do it. It takes one guy to have the heart to knock down the door to do it. One of the big guys. There's been players that have done it, but they weren't like big names, like Zion, number one player in the country or something. Get one of those number one players to go overseas and it's successful, and then come back to the NBA and still play like, and win Rookie of the Year and do all of that. It takes one, and then all of a sudden you're going to see players following suit and doing it. And then the NBA is going to have to make a decision. Do we offer them more money in the G League, right? So that they don't go to China, and they stay here in the G League? Because if Zion Williamson went to the G League,
oh,
he wouldn't have made a lot of money. He still would have got a big contract, but that G League team would have made a lot of money.
yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Everybody would have
Yeah,
been logging in to watch them play. So pretty soon it'll get to that point, and then all of a sudden you'll have, your just like the summer league is really popular now. Your younger G League type teams will probably be popular, and then you'll be able to watch them go to the NBA. The league is going to change in that manner, and then what's going to happen to college sports? I guess you'll still have college sports; it just won't be played at the same level.
yeah. I think it's going to kind of evolve into like what baseball is, where the top baseball players usually don't play in college; they play in the farm system. They go straight. A lot of them go straight from high school to single A.
Yeah,
And I see basketball going in a similar direction. Obviously, you're always going to have college basketball, but it's not going to. You're never going to. I don't think the top guys eventually are even going to be playing college. I think they're going to go right to the G League or overseas and
yep,
get their guaranteed money. And it's better competition. You could probably develop more playing in the G League than playing D1 basketball.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
playing overseas or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that's what's going to happen eventually.
yeah, so I see a couple of things in the chat. Midwest Sports says the Cubs, Chicago Cubs, they're hiring David Ross as their manager.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. Big Brother Ephraim, and it is not just Big Brother Ephraim. I've seen some other people mention that the Knicks gave a two-way contract to Ivan Rabb, and I don't know who Ivan Rabb is. I
Yeah,
don't have any
I
history
saw
on
it
him.
on I saw it on the knicksblog.com. I don't know anything about him either, but I'll look up his numbers real quick. Um, he is a second round pick in 2017 from Orlando, averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist for his career. He's played limited action in the NBA. He's averaged 14 minutes a game.
Mm.
He's a forward. Like we need more of those. Um, yeah, but but yeah, they signed him, another forward. I'm not sure what his height is. Doesn't say it here, but yeah, that's him.
Mm, okay. Well, that it'll be interesting to watch. Something that I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to reach out to the Westchester Knicks to see if maybe we can get some of those players on an interview or do something like that. Um, we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you, man. Please make sure that you go check out the Entertainers channel. If you have not, go check out his channel. The link is in the description. And you'll be, just listen, you like to get on live, you'll be able to get on live just about every night.
Yeah, I'm like the Truman Show. I'm
Yeah,
live 24 hours a day,
yeah,
7 days a week. No,
exactly.
but yeah, and we'll be doing this show on my channel every other week. So
Right.
obviously we're gonna be talking a lot more Knicks in season. And yeah, it shows a lot of fun. I can't wait for tonight, though. I can't
I
wait
can't wait
to see
either,
what the
man.
Knicks do against the Spurs. And obviously,
Yeah.
like I said, I can't. Normally, I stream the Knicks game. Can't do it tonight because. And by the way, I had my stream taken down doing the Knicks the other night. I know you had that same problem.
Really?
Uh, yeah, it was a warning. I didn't get a strike. But yeah, they took my stream down. I wasn't showing the game, no audio, and
Hmm.
they took it down. And I
Did
know you had the same problem last year.
yeah? Did they say why?
They said it was a variety of things. It's one of these things, and they listed like 7 things. One of them was like false advertisement. One was spamming. One was something else. I don't know.
What? Huh?
Um, yeah. But last year was for the Knicks. You got taken down, right?
When I got taken down, it was in the summer. It was for the Knicks. It was the
Summer
Knicks.
league.
It was
Yeah.
summer league. And
Yeah.
it was by some company. Of course, I received a copyright strike. Now those strikes have been taken away. Um, but huh? Now I did a
Yeah. I
live
got a warning.
stream. I did a live stream of the Knicks, and I didn't get a warning. I didn't get anything. Did it say who it's from? Did it say a company?
No, just YouTube sent me the message. Didn't give me a company or nothing.
Huh?
Yeah. So I
Oh,
don't know. I'm gonna try it again. If it happens again, I'll probably stop with the Knicks streams for now, and because I'm not looking to get my content taken away. So
right. Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
it
Well,
could have just been a troll though. It could just be somebody. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows what it is? So the Knicks play tonight. They play the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Um, very. If Mitch Robinson doesn't start tonight, who do you think starts in his place?
I would think Portis, right?
I think Portis, uh, Portis or Taj Gibson. You know, if
Yeah. Oh
you,
yeah, you could go with the bet. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Portis will get more minutes regardless. But
yeah, if you
yeah,
look at the
and
pros and cons between the two, Taj Gibson is going to give you a little bit more defense. Portis is going to give you a little bit more offense. I'm actually tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm going to have a premiere of Bob Bobby Portis. I'm going to premiere a video.
you would tell me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a company called Close Up 360, and they did like a mini documentary on Bobby Portis, and they're going to allow me to premiere it on my channel. Now, it's been on their channel, but they're going to allow me to also have it on my channel, exclusively on my channel. So to be on my channel and their channel as well. It's a very good documentary to be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The notification should go out sometime today. But it's going to be it's going to be it's a pretty good documentary, and then you'll be able to see it on my channel. And sometime or another, I'll have the guy who made it, Jared Zwirling. I'll have him on the show to kind of talk about it tonight when I do the post game. And King E161, yes, I will have a post game tonight. When I do the post game tonight, I'm going to have the link to that premiere in the description, and in the YouTube chat. Now we want this premiere to do very well, so I'm asking everyone to show up on time, because it's only 8 minutes. So if you can show up tomorrow at 8 o'clock, it's only 8 minutes long. So we want you to really see it. So it's gonna be good. I'm hoping that Bobby Portis has a big night tonight. That way his name is being talked about all day tomorrow, and then the premiere will do well. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I like Bobby Portis. Portis might have been my favorite signing this offseason. I like Portis a lot. High upside. They got him on a cheap deal,
Hmm.
and I think he's going to do well with the Knicks. I like Portis.
Yeah, I like Portis a lot too. And as a matter of fact, I have him on both of my. I did 2 drafts yesterday. I think you were in the drafts yesterday, weren't you?
I was
Fantasy league
not.
drafts.
I was
Oh,
not in the draft.
oh, maybe it just drafted for you then. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was live probably.
yeah,
Uh,
it must have drafted for you then. But yeah, I
yeah.
drafted him in both of my drafts yesterday. Yeah,
Okay.
because
I think Portis going to do well there.
yeah, because the drafts that we did last season, they just renewed, so everybody is still in it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
everybody's still in it. So if you log in, you'll see what your team is.
Probably got a lot of, horrible I probably have a hor usually when you do the auto drafts, you don't end up with a very good
Yeah,
team. I
right.
probably have, like, 4 guys out for the year or something.
Yeah. Um, but hey, yeah, I got to get back down to my institute. I got to get back down there. Right now, they're in the middle of lunch. So I got to get down there and grab me some lunch. This is probably them calling me, say, hey, what are you doing? Um,
Do what you gotta do, Tim. Do what you gotta
but
do.
yeah,
Do what you
I
gotta
got
do.
to,
I
um,
appreciate you having me on,
yeah, I appreciate it,
and,
man.
hopefully we get this going on, Friday also, and then, this will be a regular thing, so
Yeah,
I always love talking broad sports. Always love
yeah,
talking broad sports.
definitely, ladies and gentlemen. So the way that this is working, and if it would have worked, if it would have earlier, if the stream would have been up, we probably would have had more people in the chat. But people probably went back to work. But the way this is going, ladies and gentlemen, is we're gonna do this twice a week on my channel, and twice a week on the Entertainers channel. And of course we'll work around each other's schedules if we have different things going on. But it'll be fun. We're doing a morning show. We're trying to corner the market. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to corner the market on
Yeah.
sports morning talk shows on YouTube. So, support us in that quest.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it. I think it's gonna be a good journey. I'm looking forward to it, and, yeah, we'll be
yeah,
back in
man.
2 days. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy you gotta get something to eat, Sam. Go get something
Yeah,
to eat.
man. I'm gonna go down and get something to eat because I'm starving. And listen, if I don't go get something to eat now, it'll be gone. That's how I'm telling
Well,
you.
but especially is Isaiah there?
No, Isaiah's not here. If Isaiah was here, I'd be running. I'd be rushing down to the table right now.
We saw Isaiah at the Knick game. There was no food by the time I got
Yeah,
got to
right.
the trip.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
all right, man. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and subscribe to the Entertainers channel. Okay, the link is in the description of this video. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Nothing But Knicks, and we will see you guys on Friday.
Looking forward to
All
it.
right,
Looking
man.
forward to it, Tim. Enjoy the game tonight.
All right. Enjoy the game, and I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.
All right.